So, so a lot of time has passed since CS2 released, and with these new glove and knife and finish changes, I kind of wanted to make a new glove tier list since no one has really done one for CS2. So I made this kind of list here, and it goes in some categories over here, and I'm pretty lax on grading gloves because I personally like gloves quite a lot. They're the things that you see most in game, and I think that me personally, the more it kind of grabs your attention, the more attractive it is. It's just kind of how like things work. The more shiny an object is, the more people like it. So I created some categories. There's a tier called Best of the Best, which is above S, and I'm gonna be very lax on my gradings because I love pretty much all these gloves. It's just I'm trying to rank these, you know. So I have to have some kind of tier to put these gloves on, and just because it's an F doesn't mean that I'm telling you to not buy it or not wear it. I'm just saying that these gloves are not really as attractive as any of these gloves that I'm gonna put over them. Alright, and I'm gonna also put some glove knife combos, like, you know, cheap ones and expensive ones along the way, and I'm gonna explain why like I chose these combos, why I think they look good, etc. Okay. So we start with the default gloves, and don't get me wrong, these don't look that bad, right? These are actually not bad looking. It's just when you play with the default gloves for like, I don't know, many months, like a year, you just get tired of looking at them. You just kind of want to buy a new pair of gloves, so, you know, at least a knife, you know? So for that reason, I'm gonna put the default gloves in C, because they're not really bad, but they're not really good either. And I would not mind wearing default gloves over some of the gloves that I'm gonna put in here. Okay, all right. So we start with the Broken Fang gloves, yellow banded, and to be honest with you, these aren't bad looking. They really aren't. They're much worse gloves than these are. And if you look at the CS2 clips that I'm going to show you along the way, you can tell that the yellow is actually pretty damn vibrant, you know? So I'm going to actually put these, and my opinion might be subject to change as this list, you know, progresses, because we got a lot of gloves here. But I'm going to put these, let's see, B for now, because I would wear these over the default. And now we got the Broken Fang gloves needle points. And again, like, the colors are much more vibrant than in CSGO. The red kind of pops a little bit more. I like the little regal design it has on the hands themselves. I don't mind this at all. It's kind of worse than the yellow banded though, so I kind of want to put it in C tier. Would I wear them over the default gloves? Yes, I would. Alright, and then we got the Jades. Alright, so the Jades, actually, they pop a lot, and they shine a lot in the light. And I forgot to tell you, but I'm using the Mirage background because it has the best lighting out of the Dust 2 and Nuke that we have right now for the CS2 backgrounds. So it's so vibrant, and I can see this working with a lot of, you know, emerald knives, obviously Gamma Doppler, but if you want to like go for like kind of a deeper blue even, I would say would work. You can make that work as well. So like maybe a blue Doppler, maybe, but I would just stick to a Gamma Doppler, to be honest, if you're going for a Jade gloves. So maybe I will put this higher above yellow banded. Is it A tier? No, I would say it's still B, because the things that I'm gonna be putting in A tier, you'll see in a bit why like I chose to put these Jade gloves below. Alright, so Unhinged, these are actually extremely clean. These Unhinged gloves, they're pure black with like kind of a snake kind of finish on them. They're good for a budget knife. Like if you were to get like even like a gut knife like Black Lamb, maybe even a default variant of any knife, you would really stand out, I would say, way over the default gloves. I know they're both black, but the details that you have in this glove, and like I'm looking at the price right now on Steam, it ranges from 70 to 150. That's a bargain for what you're getting. Like you got some nice clean gloves with the silver accents. I would say this is a B tier for sure. Not over these two, because they're just more interesting to me. Alright, so we move on to the Snow Leopards, and this may or may not be a hot take, but I think these gloves are S. Straight up. I think these gloves, I do not mind the leopard print. I know a lot of people say like the leopard print gloves are like grandma panties or whatever, but these are extremely clean. Like the underside of it, just this kind of velvety kind of white with the black kind of chainmail band running through. It's extremely clean, and you can match this glove with, of course, like a bayonet default, but you can also match this with a sapphire or an emerald, or my personal favorite, I match it up with a ruby, because the red and the leopard kind of vibe kind of pops a lot. So yeah, these are one of my favorite gloves. I do own a pair. I own a pair of like really good float field testeds, and these wear really damn well too. Much more better than the King Snakes, but we'll talk a little bit more about the King Snakes when we get there. Alright, so the black ties. I actually really like the black ties, only the problem right now for CS, and in CS2 unfortunately, is that these wear really badly. So you're gonna have to get min wear fact noob, and then you have to get lucky with the patterns, and you have to overpay or some shit with them. So unfortunately, because of that, I'm gonna dock it a few points. But overall aesthetics, these are fucking amazing. You know, I just think they're slightly boring. You know, like these undersides of the black ties kind of mimic the snow leopards, or vice versa, however you want to look at it. But these are overall extremely clean, you know, but they're not, I wouldn't say they're S tier. I would say they're very high A. Alright, so the Rezan the Reds. Dude, these gloves are fucking amazing. These gloves are underpriced as shit. You can get a battle-scarred one for $90 field tested for $110 on the Steam market. These are fucking ridiculous. These are a bargain. You can match these with like a Crimson Web, you know, a Slaughter. If you're ballin', you know, if you can afford a ruby, you know, like, I don't know why you would choose to go for cheap gloves, but they would match with these too. So these are honestly, in my opinion, they're like a mix. They're like high B, low A for me, to be honest with you. These are so good. These are so good. I'm gonna put them for A for now because I'm kind of feeling generous today. But I don't know, these might change later on. Queen Jaguars. Okay, so about the grandma panties. So these give off too much of that vibe, and I know Aero CS really likes Queen Jags with his fucking what do you call it, like the gold gem karambit or whatever. But I'm not really, these don't really do it for me. Like that combo is pretty sick, I'm gonna admit, but what else can you really match with these? And the whole time I'm looking at the combo, man, I'm kind of looking at the legit grandma panty fucking leopard print here. So that being said, would I use these over defaults? Yeah, I would say still, because these are more interesting than the default, but they're just not for me. I would put them in C for now. Giraffe though, giraffes, I fuck with these. These are actually really, they're vivid. They pop a lot, you know, they're hand wraps, yeah, but I do enjoy this print more than the leopard. That being said, is it a B tier? Is it up here? With the cleanliness of these fucking three broken Fang gloves so far? I don't know. Maybe they're like high C, low B. Put them in low B for now. Cautions are actually pretty dope. They don't really fit with anything, really. Maybe you can put in a Gamma Doppler for that toxic kind of vibe. But, like that caution, like there's a toxic sludge, like nearby kind of vibe. But like, I have owned a pair of these. These are really good. I don't know what I matched with them. I think I wore a Karambit Fade with these. And it actually looked pretty good in my opinion. You can pretty much wear any knife with these gloves, but they don't really particularly match with anything, you know? Like, you can go for a lore, but the lore is like really regal with the caution tapes and stuff like that. So like, I don't know. Yellow on yellow. But yeah, these are sick gloves in themselves, so I'll put them in A for sure. Desert Shamagh. So these are clean. But they're not really, you don't really look at these and be like, wow, I really want them, you know, like that's just my opinion. And although they're clean, they're not really anything special in my opinion. They're not really interesting. Like they have the repeating like pattern, I guess, but I don't know, they don't really have anything really going for them. That being said, I would wear these over the default and the Leopard prints. Again, like, I'm biased because I don't really like the... You know, it's kind of ironic because I rated the Snow Leopard so high, but it's just the Snow Leopard is just doing it more for me than the brown Leopard print. Alright. So the Constrictors. So actually, I didn't really like these gloves very much, and I'll put these in B. Put these in B, maybe over the Giraffe print actually, because my friend, I queued up with him like a week ago, and he got a combo with the Constrictor gloves and some Shadow Dagger rust coats, and they look absolutely sick in game. This was such a good budget combo. I think he said he spent less than $200 on both of them, like total. So it's just really, like, you whip this combo out, you'd be like, wow, that's, if there's some thought into it, you know, like, you actually, like, care about how you look with your combos, you know what I mean? Like the brown on brown with the kind of Mad Max style going on. It doesn't need to be Shadow Daggers. I can see like a flip knife working with this too. I don't think like a high-end knife like Karambit or M9 would really do it, but some kind of mid-tier to low-tier like flip knife, like maybe even a gut knife would work. Okay, anyways. So we have the Smoke Out. And the Smoke Outs are pretty cool. They're pretty damn cool. I don't remember if I showcased the combo with these or the Eclipses. I think I did it with the Eclipses. I could be wrong. But any gray gloves that are clean like this really makes me happy, I guess. Like, just the clean gloves, you know? And this kind of blue stripe going through, like, a lot of people don't like it, but for me, it kind of accents the glove, because it's kind of like, it's not really a standout kind of blue, it's more like a smoky blue, smoky kind of light blue, maybe even like a sky blue, not really though. So with this, you can really match any default knife with these gloves. And just any Damascus steel knife would work amazingly with these. And because they're so dark on the underhand, you could even go for like a black lamb. Alright, so the third Commando company. So these gloves, I actually don't mind them. I know people like say they're kind of like DD pack gloves or whatever, but I actually think that they're much better than what they're saying. So it has accents of red in them, and actually in CS2 the colors are much more vibrant. And if you can match these with the third Commando company, of course, the Agent, it really does make it work, make it look like you're trying to make a fit work, you know what I mean? With this I guess glove, like you can match any kind of green knife. I would even go for a Gamma Doppler, honestly. But you could even match like with the red stripe going through. You could even go for like a Crimson Web because the handle is so dark. The gloves are dark in general. I don't know. I really do appreciate these gloves. So would I put them up in A tier though? They would be a very high B, but are they over the Jades and the, what do you call them? The Yellow Bandit though? I would say that they're about the same as the Yellow Bandits for me. But they're not above the, well, I would rather, yeah, I would put them right here. So I would rank them as same. These three, the Yellow Bandits, the Third Commandos, and the Unhinged, they were about the same for me, because for me personally, the fingerless gloves are kind of lower tier in my opinion than the fully like fledged on gloves. I know they're Moto Gloves, but I'm actually a fan of Moto Gloves myself. I'm a Moto Glove enjoyer. So okay, now we're going for the big boys. The big boys. So we're going for the Blood Pressure, dude. And honestly, dude, you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I'm putting this up in S. I don't care. The reason being is because in CSGO, there's a little, like, with Moto Gloves, there's like this little strap tab, like this cloth tab on the sides of the Moto Gloves. And for the Blood Pressures, that's like one of the only places that it wears the most. Like, it would get all brown and like the red would fade from that little cloth tab. I'll zoom in on it. But in CS2, it's fixed. Like, it's completely, if you get a min wear pair or even a good field tested, it's completely red. So it's fixed. And also, well, for now, like, it can be subject to change. But also, the red, dude, the red on the blood pressures are incredibly vivid. The blacks, like, the black color, like, is all, like, they're all muted, you know? But that's like with any skin, they're all muted, but I'm sure they'll like maybe fix the black coloring on gloves and skins. But what I like the most about these gloves that were changed, kind of, are the side of the fingers, dude. Like, if you look at them on the side of the fingers, they're really red. They pop, and I love that. Just looking at them in CS:GO compared to CS2, dude, it's a massive improvement. And also, the red and black really does it for me. It's just so nice, and I do not mind the little blood splattering at all. I know a lot of people say like triggers their trypophobia or whatever, but for me, I just think it's really cool. And I don't know why it's not more expensive. I think you can get like a min wear pair like on third-party sites for like $450 or something like that. And it's just I'm really liking it. What can I say? Okay, so finish lines. Alright, so in CS:GO, I really didn't like these. They look like little cartoon gloves, you know, like little toy gloves. But in CS2, something about the green just pops. And, you know, like near the wrist, you see that little band of green there? It's just so attractive to me. It just really does it for me. And I'm really digging the black and white checkers, or what are those like? I don't even know if those are black and white. If there's a blue, dark blue or not. But just the CS2 glow up, I guess, and the green really popping more. It's more shiny, more light. I really do appreciate this more. So I'll put this up in, but not as much as these two gloves, to be honest with you, because I don't know. They're just my opinion. I'm gonna put them as a high A. Probably beneath the black ties though. Black ties are too damn clean. Tiger strikes. Alright, so here's my hot take. Assuming that I haven't been making hot takes so far. I think I've been pretty reasonable. Okay, so tiger strikes, they're cool. They're really cool. It's just I don't know if you guys can see this the same as I can, but the fingers, the little cloth kind of leathery fingertips, they're big. They're chunky. They're like paws, you know, like little pads, like for tigers, and I get that. But they're just too damn. They kind of look fluffy, and I just don't really like that. It makes them look kind of cute, but like, I don't know, like, what are you gonna mask these with besides like maybe like you know, that classic, that legendary combo, the mango fade, butterfly knife, cool, and then you have the tiger tooth knives, and then you have like what? The lore knives, but then Tiger Tooth just obviously is the better choice here. I'd say the best knife you can get with this is Talon Tiger, just because it's just synchronous all throughout and it's in the name. So, but these are cool. These are cool. Are they S tier? Are they S tier? They're definitely better than the black ties in my opinion. They're much more cooler. But are they S? I don't know. Maybe. I'm gonna put here for now. Put it here for now. Okay, so the field agents. So these gloves. So Anomaly actually discovered, like, not discovered, but like he pointed out a combo, maybe he discovered, with the Piss and Ice Karambit and the blue and yellow with these field agents. They work really well. It's just like, what other glove knife combo are you gonna have with these that are both blue and yellow? You know, like, I guess you can have a default knife, and because you're an agent, you're like being professional or whatever, you can use a default knife. But yeah, well, these are cool though. I'll give them that. So yeah, I guess an A tier, maybe about here. Maybe I would use these over the finish lines. Yeah, I'll probably, but these are too low though. I'll probably nah, I'll put them here for now. Maybe there's worse gloves in A tier. Okay. So now we're up to the Specialist Gloves, Lieutenant Commander. And these gloves, are fucking sick. But there's only really one knife that I go like, wow, you got that combo with these gloves, and it's just the default classic knife. The little swirls on the default classic knife with just how like the steel is kind of like, even like that gray kind of bluish, I'm kind of stretching here, but that kind of gray bluish color on the steel, just really, it's just amazing. And that combo itself brings us up to like A tier to me, but not above the smokeouts though. These are not as cool as smokeouts. These caution gloves I'm biased with because I used to own a pair, and these Rezan the reds, these are just fucking amazing deal. These, you will not get a better bargain than these gloves, to be honest with you. Maybe some other gloves, maybe 2 other gloves that I'm thinking of. All right, so we're moving on to the marble fades, and guys, these gloves got the most insane boost buff on CS2. These gloves have the Doppler finishes, guys, in CS2, and they're fucking, they go right up to S. It's just ridiculous. The light, it just reflects so fucking well on these gloves, and the underside is just vivid orange. So like, how can you hate these gloves? These, like with the fire and ice pattern, I mean, if there is one in CS2, like they're just, I don't know. These would work with so many high tier gloves in my knives, in my opinion. Slingshots. So I know a lot of people are comparing these gloves to Pandora's boxes, but these gloves really aren't as good as Pandora's, and I'll tell you why. So the Pandora's, they have this amazing vivid purple, blue, black combo. But with this, you have a muted brown, kind of gray underneath with sort of a red. These reds are not as red as the blood pressures, you know what I mean? Or the Scarlet Shamaghs, but we'll get to that. But in CS2, yes, they get a little bit more red. But the undersides of the gloves are what's not really doing it for me. So with the Pandora's boxes, you get like these designs, these little demons or whatever, these spirits coming out of the Pandora's box or whatever. But with this, you just get like this random swirl. I mean, come on, like they're not even close with the undersides at least. But they are S tier. They are S tier though. They are, what can I say? They're the red Pandoras, but just a little bit worse. Just a little bit worse. And they could have done this better by making the undersides a little red. Could have made it better by making the undersides white even, but no, they had to go for the brown gray swirls, and it's just not really doing it for me. But that being said, it's still an S. Okay. So, sport gloves, Nocts. Alright. These gloves were, past tense, extremely clean. They were clean. But with the CS2, like the black, like lighting, it's just, they're not black anymore. They're more brown. And you could clearly see the leopard print. You could see them in CSGO, but not as well. But CS2, you can clearly see the leopard print on them, and it's just kind of, I don't know, like, it's just, I don't want to, if I'm thinking about black gloves, pure black gloves, I don't want to see any, like, outlying brown, like, swirl leopard print design, you know what I mean? That's just me, though. And they're not really clean because of that. That being said, there are patterns where you can get more black, like, than others, but I don't know. These gloves are clean, and the one saving grace that these gloves really have for me personally is that little under tab with the Tortue, or the Icarus design on the bottom. That's just really, that's the cherry on top. I really do like that. These are good gloves, but they're not, they got kind of like a nerf in CS2, and it's just, they are better than the default by far, and I would put them up in A. I just don't know where. Right now, because of the CS2 changes, I'm gonna put them underneath the Lieutenant Commanders, but yeah, I don't know. This might change in the future. Okay, so we got the Scarlet Shamaghs, and as I was saying, the reds, all colors got a major buff in CS2, and the reds for the Scarlet Shamaghs is not an exception either. And these are red and black gloves. They're just really clean, and honestly, like, I do like them, but again, they're not as vivid as the blood pressures. The blacks are not black enough. the reds are not red enough. It's just not there. And they're just a lower tier gloves in my opinion than the slingshots, you know what I mean? So they're less interesting to me than the blood pressures and the slingshots. For that reason, I'm gonna put them up in A tier. Probably high A tier, but below the black ties, because black ties are like the god of being clean. Mr. Clean up in here. Alright, so we got Big Game, Sport Gloves Big Game, and honestly, I don't hate these. A lot of people hate these, I don't hate these. The reason being is because the underside and the little tab on the side, and they're sport gloves, man. How can you complain? They're sport gloves. All sport gloves are fucking insane, dude. Even the bronze morphs and whatever, they're all great. They're sport gloves. They got that little Icarus tab and everything, and they're just the best version of gloves that we have right now, in my opinion. So Big Game, yeah, they're not great, but they're not terrible. They're not like, as you can see, man, I'm not really ranking any, like most of these gloves, I'm not ranking like D or F so far, and that's for a good reason, because I said before, like, I do appreciate every glove. I try to see the good in every single glove. And for the Big Game, man, I'm gonna put these, let's put these in B tier. Better than the Giraffes, better than Constrictors. Not better than these, though, the rest of these. Are those the Constrictors? I can't tell. Yeah, the Constrictors. Okay. So, we get to the Imperial Plaid. Plaid, whatever, Plaid. These gloves are sick for the underneath part of the gloves. I said it. And everyone agrees with me. Up to this point. Everyone loves these gloves for being so vivid. They're like Pandora's. They're like as vivid as Pandora's, maybe even more, because they shine, because they're made out of that shiny leather. But they're not sport gloves, and they're, well, I don't care if they're not sport gloves. It's just the little like picnic blanket pattern on the side, on the top of the hands. They're just not. It's not badass. It's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of lame in my opinion. That being said, these are pattern-based gloves, guys. Pattern-based gloves, and you can get more blue on the top of the hands than purple, and I really like that aspect. That like almost makes it up for me for the little picnic blanket kind of thing on the top. And honestly, I can't be doing this a disservice. This is top of A. This is top of A, because because like you're most likely are going to only see the underside of your gloves anyways when you're playing the game. You're not going to have your knife out most of the game unless you're trolling. So I don't know. These are great. These are great. I just wish they didn't have the little picnic blanket little thing on the top of them, and they just removed the lines. That would have been fucking amazing. All right, king snakes. King snakes and snow leopards are the same to me. They're the same to me, and that's because one thing. On the snow leopards, I prefer, and that's my personal opinion, I prefer the black stripe, the chainmail going through over this scaly, kind of cream colored yellow stripe. That being said, I prefer the leather, and it's a very subtle difference, the leather. The leather on the king snakes are more shiny, and it's a brighter white, just very subtly. You guys are gonna have to see this side by side to really see what I'm talking about. The leather on the snow leopards are more velvety, slightly more, there's like a slight pink in it, slight like skin color in the white. Whereas the king snakes are just pure white, shiny, and they got the snake pattern, which is a little bit more cooler than the Queen Jaguar, or sorry, the snow leopard print for me. But because of that little scaly cream underneath band thing, like they're about the same to me. And in CS2, it seems like king snakes, like they wear well too now. They no longer, you're getting green ugly like knuckles, and you can enjoy true minimal wear like snow leopards again. Alright, overtakes. Alright, overtakes, fucking badass, straight into A tier. These are amazing. These are better than the big games, because they're just all over. The yellows are all over the palms instead of just being like plastered in like just like the dead middle and like your thumb. These are great. And these are an amazing budget pair. How much are these going for? Minimal wear for 350 on the Steam market right now, and field tester for 140. These are a bargain. They're like Rezan the Reds, but like I'd say they're better because they're a little bit more vivid. I know they have like brown leather on the top of the hands, but the yellow just really pops, and it's a very clean pair of gloves. All right. So we have Racing Green. Racing Green. And I don't hate these gloves. Again, I don't hate many gloves. These gloves are a good budget green pair of gloves. And these work extremely well with Force DD-Pat, Safari Mesh, whatever. And if you really want to troll in matchmaking or whatever, and you can equip like an emerald, like a Navaja. I don't even know if they have Navaja Emerald. They don't. I mean like a Flip Knife Emerald or like a Shadow Daggers Emerald. They would look amazing. The contrast between the light green and the dark green would look good. The only problem is if you get these in shit conditions, yeah, you might as well be wearing default. But I'm talking just field test and minimal wear. Fine by me. Fine by me. These are not better. Are these better than default? Yeah, they are. In my opinion, I would wear these. They're more interesting. I would say they're C though. Yeah, C, because they don't have like an interesting underside. They're not bright, but they're not bad by any means. You guys are just hating them too much. They're like one of the cheapest gloves in CSGO, but still, they're clean. And you can't argue with clean. Alright, so Cobalt Skulls. These are dope. These are dope, but they're not S tier because they're fingerless, and they just don't... They don't pop. It seems like they got a little bit desaturated in CS2. It just might be me, but... These are indeed A. They are A. Are they better than the Black Ties? No. Scarlet Shamaghs? Yeah, they are. So they're like around here. I would rather have the Imperial Plaids than the Cobalt Skulls, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I really do love like fingerless gloves. It's just that they're not high tier. They don't really scream high tier to me. In my opinion. Alright. Overprints. Alright, so these gloves look really different based upon the pattern. They're pattern based. And if you get an all arrow dominated pair, instead of getting like a flower or like a hexagon, like not a hexagon, like a box pattern, these are like straight up better in my opinion. If you get the arrow pattern, then they're better than the Cobalt Skulls. But if you just get the average pair, you don't get the arrow pattern like I'm showing you on the screen, like then they're better than the they're better than the special agent, the field agents. Yeah, I'll put them right here. You obviously, if you pair this with like a Karambit like cyan pattern, then you're freaking balling. Like you're gonna turn some heads. You're gonna get some compliments, but you can't really pair many knives with these. Maybe a Gamma Doppler, but again, like that's just a variant of this cyan pattern or whatever. Okay, Arboreal. These gloves are clean. These gloves are better than the gloves in C tier, by far. They're better. I would say they're like about the same level as Big Game for me. Maybe they're even better. Am I giving third Commando a little bit too much credit? I feel like I am. I'm gonna put these down below. Yeah, I'm gonna put these right here. Right below the Constrictors, because the Constrictors, they're just like the Badland kind of like Mad Max kind of glove to me. Right next to Duct Tapes. We're gonna get there though. Alright, we're right here. Okay. Duct Tapes. These gloves are A tier. And I'm not trolling. It's just, they're kind of like bottom A tier, and I'll tell you why. These gloves are great with any glove. Poor budget, high budget, whatever budget you have, you equip this with a Karambit Fade, a freaking M9 Ruby, a Rust Coat, like a default knife. Like these gloves work with anything. It's like you're trolling, and they're funny, and they just, if a glove works with nothing, it works with everything. And I know that's really deep, but like, it's just these gloves, I'm really a fan of them. Even though they're like hand wraps, it's just your hands are covered in duct tape. It's just amazing to me. Alright, so case hardened Hydra gloves. Alright, so I know these got a recent update and they're now pattern based, could be subject to change, but they're not like as case hardeny as I want them to be. I wish even like the little plate on the back, I wish the little emblem on the back, I wish every part of the gloves was just, you were able to get full blue. I wish you could get that. That would make it like 10 out of 10, but they're not. You can't get them like that. So I don't know, like A tier. I mean, the average pair of KSR and gloves are not A tier. B tier, they are better than Arboreals. I would say beneath the Jades for me. Okay, Mangrove. All right, so now we go. Okay, no, we're starting with the emeralds. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Emeralds, not bad, not bad. Very clean, very clean. I like the green on green with the black on them. You can maybe pair this with a Gamma Doppler, Force DD Pad, etc. Any green knife. I wouldn't really pair a Safari with this. They're all right. I have nothing to complain about them. I'd say they're good C tier. I'd say they're above these. This for sure. Maybe this. Yeah, like right here. Because they're interesting to me. They're just, I like the little green patch, the little green snakes. They're nice. Okay, so mangroves. Mangrove. So these gloves are the safari meshes of CSGO. I believe that there's only 2 like these gloves, and they both belong to the Hydra case. It's actually the next one coming too, the Rattlers. Except the Rattler is slightly better than the Mangroves, because on the Rattler, the green is not, it's not just full safari mesh green. You actually have a little snakeskin, and the little tab near the wrists are actually lighter colored green than opposed to the brown from the Mangroves. So yeah, these 2, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put in F tier. There aren't many Fs. In fact, those 2 might be the only ones that are an F. Maybe not. I'm thinking of some more actually, but yeah, they're not really good. They're like the safari meshes, unfortunately, but you gotta have some, you know, as a gold. Otherwise, everything is gonna be too OP. Okay, so pals. These gloves are amazing. They're amazing. S tier. Because you can pair these with pretty much any fade knife. But if you get yourself a really low fade where it's only like gray and orange or whatever, it really does match pretty hard. And the only problem I have with these that don't make it higher up on the S tier is just that I'm not really a fan of the white that they chose. It's more of a milky white, as opposed to the spearmints that are coming up like way later. But yeah, these whites, the whites on the gloves are not very white. They're not the same white as the snow leopards and king snakes. They're like the tiger stripe whites, but like a little creamier. Pause. All right, so Polygon. These gloves are freaking legit, dude. See, like, I would rank these higher than the Cobalt Skulls. I said it. These are higher than the Cobalt Skulls, and I'll tell you why. One day, I think like 2 years ago, I saw a guy rock these gloves in min-wear condition with a flip sapphire, and it blew my mind. I know it's such a basic combo, but you seeing this combo in-game, it's gonna turn heads. You're gonna get a lot of compliments. It just looks nice. The blues, you getting a full hand glove, full coverage, and it's saturated blue, and you got the Tortue logo, and it's just, I'm a Moto Glove enjoyer. It's just better. Moto Gloves are better than hand wraps in my opinion. And these gloves paired with the sapphire, freaking amazing. You should, like, pros should do it more often than search for a freaking Amphibious or whatever. But these gloves are underrated, and they're priced decently too. Like, you can get a min wear right now, Steam, $550, bargain. They're like about the same price as the blood pressures. I just like red more in my opinion. Okay, so turtles not as sick as the polygons, not as sick, and they don't really look good with emeralds in my opinion because you got that orange. Like, I mean, I guess, but I'm just not really a fan of cosplaying as a turtle, Ninja Turtle, you know. So I'm gonna put this at, like, they're better than, well, I guess they're A. Where do I put these? Right here, right there. Well, right there. Nah, they're about the same as the finish lines, because the green, because they're both kind of like awkward in my opinion, but the finish lines just does it well. Like the accents, they just got a boost in CS2. I said it before, I'll say it again. Transports. I am not a fan of these gloves, and I know they're a budget yellow pair of gloves. They just kind of look like Play-Doh to me. I don't know. I don't know if you guys can tell what I'm talking about, but or understand what I'm trying to say, but like, yeah, no, they're D tier. I'm sorry, guys. I know people are trying to mask these with lore knives, but like, dude, like, you're just doing that because it's yellow, dude, and it's just kind of looks gross. I don't know how to describe it to you, man. I'm not a fan, and I can't really explain why. I'm sorry for anyone who enjoys the transports. I try to be as generous as I can with every single glove, but it's just, at least I'm not putting them in F tier, man. They're better than these. Okay. Moguls are sick. I'd say they're A tier for sure, but like low A tier. I'd say they're right. They're like right. They're like right about like here. Better than Field Agent, because the blues on the underside of them and the side of the fingers are just very saturated. I just like them a lot, and they work very well with the bright water knives. And like, you could even pair like maybe a sapphire, but in that case, like, I would go for the polygons for sure. Just more vivid. Okay, Crimson Webs. Okay, so about the Crimson Webs, I'm not really a fan of Crimson Web gloves because of this. With the Crimson Web knives, the webs are like black, and also the knife handles and like the wood or whatever, or the grip, they're all extremely saturated deep black. But with these gloves, you just got like these knockoff gray, like smoky, and then the webs are red. Like, it doesn't make sense. And the logo, the Tortue logo, is gray. I don't understand why. And the knuckles, if these are red and black, like the Moto Gloves blood pressures, these would be S tier. But no, they're not. And that's the reason why I don't like these. And but they're not bad. They are. I'll put them in A. And I'm being generous at all these gloves because I know people appreciate these gloves, man. Put them like right here. I'm just not a fan of them. I would even put them, like, if I was being honest with myself, I'll put them like high B. Yeah, like right here. I'm gonna be honest with myself. Okay, so Specialist Glove Fade. These gloves are sick, but right now in CS2 they don't wear really well. Like, I can see in the screen, this is a factory new pair and you got some wear on it, man. It's just unreal, but I'm sure they're gonna fix it. They're not as cool as the marble fades because it doesn't have the Doppler effect, but it is really shiny, and I do like the top of the gloves better than the finish that they have on the marble fades, but the undersides are kind of boring. I would say that they're top of A. I would wear them over the Imperial plaids, whatever. Okay, so Buckshot. These are better than the Safari Mesh gloves, but not by a lot. I would say they're D tier. The transports are better, but I do appreciate the green undersides, but and they're better glove than the Moto Gloves, but I don't know. They're just not. They're kind of like the Force DD Pack gloves, and I don't know. Bronze Morphs. I do appreciate these. These gloves. Oh, well, they're not. They're not next in line. Sorry. Vice gloves. Now we're talking. Okay. In the new CS2 update, all Vice gloves, they don't wear gray anymore. So when you have scratches on your gloves, you don't get that disgusting gray crackly effect on your knuckles. You get pink instead. And because of that, these might skyrocket in price if they keep it like that. That being said, these are goated. And I'm sorry, I say this because I own a pair. I might be biased, but also these are just the most vibrant gloves in CS:GO. Besides the Pandoras, and arguably these are better. These are more bright than the Pandoras. The Pandoras are a little bit more darker, but yeah, these are just goated. I just wish the underside of the gloves had more pink and blue than the gray that they chose. But yeah, these are amazing. You can pair these with fade knives, like a phase 2 Doppler. You can do a blue gem knife if you're balling. I tried all three of them, and honestly, they work with any of them. I like the blue gem combo the best though, because the little blue highlights on them just really works well for me. Amphibious is the goated blue glove right now for CS:GO, and because of that, I have to put them as one of the best. There's no other light blue glove like this that we have besides the superconductors, and even then, like, superconductors aren't that blue. If you're going for a high tier blue glove, you're going for Amphibious. Fortunately or unfortunately, Omegas are pretty damn good. They're good with like a Dragon Lore, like a freaking fuel injector. Yeah, they're good with a Dragon Lore. Cool. They're good with any yellow skins. I would say I enjoy the white gloves better than the Omegas though. The Marble Fade gloves need to be higher. They need to be higher. They're like right there. Right now because of CS2. Slingshots right there. I would wear the blood pressures over Omegas, unfortunately. Because I love these gloves personally. I know a lot of people don't. Okay, so yeah, these higher. Yeah, like that. Okay. Bronze Morphs. A lot of people hate on these gloves because they look kind of jank, but if you pair these with slaughter knives, dude, like a classic slaughter, dude, like, or like even like just any slaughter knife in general, like Ursus, whatever, then you're ballin', dude. These are great. These are fantastic. I have no complaints with them. If you pair them nicely, if you pair them with a Gamma Doppler even, they're good. A tier for sure. Like right here, above the caution wraps. Bronzed. These are very shiny, guys. Very shiny, but they're kind of brown. And brown things in CS:GO don't really fetch a lot of popularity and price, so I would wear these over default. Top of C. Top of C for sure. Oh, maybe B. Bottom of B. Because the Giraffes are vibrant, but these are also vibrant too. And the thing about the third Commandos is that they're just good gloves in general, in my opinion. The highlights, especially if you compare them with the Agents, and then all of these, they got their unique quirks to them. So, snake bites. They're clean. They're not as clean as some of the gloves I mentioned. I would say that these are on par with the needle points, I believe they're called. Yep. Okay. So now we're on to the Gorillas, and these are pretty cool. These go well with the well done agent or whatever, the agent that's super jacked with the scar on him. These are really cool. I would say they're above their Commando. Constrictor. Yeah, right here. Big game. Alright. Charred are even better. Charred is even better. It's the better version of these gloves right here, the ones that are like right next to them. So not as cool as the pure black Bloodhound or Broken Fang gloves, but these, I just like the red accent more than the green, in my opinion. And the skull is more cooler than the snakes, to me. Okay, Diamondback. Diamondback, I'm not really a fan of. They're better than the... what is that? The Buckshot, but they're about the same as the transports to me. They're just all around brown on brown with the snake skin that's also brown. It's just not really a cool glove. Crimson Weaves, on the other hand, okay, so these are A tier. A tier. Say they're below. Right here. They're below Black Ties. Black Ties are too clean. And I would rather have these vivid purples. The thing about Crimson Weaves is that they have brown undersides, and I just don't like them, the underhands. Okay, so Lunar Weaves have the opposite problem, where it's not vivid coloring on the top, but it has decent color on the underhand, so for that reason, I'm gonna put it like... and I have owned a pair of these, and these go well with any night knives. Jesus. But they're not as cool as some of these gloves up here, so yeah, I put them like right here with the Rezan the Reds. Rezan the Reds are better, in my opinion. Okay, Convoys, they're cool, better than Needle Points, better than Needle Points, but not by much. They're more brighter and they stand out more, but the Needle Points are like vivid, but again, they're fingerless, so. Alright, Slaughters, they're not as cool as the Cobalt Skulls, but I'm a fan of red. But even with that being said, I would say that they're not as cool as the freaking Overprints to me. But they're better than the Moguls, so I'll put them right here. Alright, so hand-wrapped leathers, these are honestly the same vibe as the duct tapes, but I just like the duct tapes better, because they're just more memey. They're just more trolly, and I don't know. It just seems like it's like duct tapes with a fancy hat on top is the leather wraps or whatever. All right, Badlands. These are cool. These are very cool. I would say they're not C. They're definitely B. Let's say they're about the same. They're better than the Arboreals, I would say. Yeah, they're better than Arboreals because they're more vivid and they're more yellow. And yellow is a more desirable color than green, in my opinion. Alright, Spruce the Pass on the other hand. Okay, I opened a battle-scarred version of these as my one and only yellow out of like 500 cases. So I'm gonna have to put these dead ass. They're not F, but they're better than the Buckshots, but not by a lot. Nah, they're worse than the Buckshots. Fuck it. I'm putting it like low D. Cool Mints. Cool Mints are A. They're not S. They're not S. I would put them at the end of S. No. I just said they're not S. Okay. I will put them... They're cool because they work with bright waters, and it's just like any like white and blue glove I just really like the superconductors. So I would put them... They're not as vivid as the Polygons though. Damn, okay. I'll put them underneath the Cobalts for me. Is that fair? Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Because you can match maybe blue gems with this, but if you're doing that, like, why not just get like an Amphibious or superconductors, you know? But they're still an amazing pair of gloves. Okay, so now we're on to Spearmints, and these gloves are S tier. These are the better versions of the PALs, in my opinion, because you can match these with red gloves. Sorry, red knives. Like, take a look on the screen. Bayonet Ruby, because of that little orange-red stripe in the middle, with the white and green gloves. It just works so well for me. And a lot of people use this combo too, not just me. Anomaly used it. Some big trader that I spoke to used it in game with me. It's just a very desirable, very attractive looking combo in my opinion. And you can use like a default bayonet with this. You can use any Damascus steel, it's just a very high tier glove, very attractive glove in general. I really like it. All right, so the eclipses, and I remember me saying that I had a clip of this. Oh yeah, I think it was this glove. So yeah, you can pair this with any default knife, that's great, or any Damascus steel knife, default knife, sorry. And I used to own a pair of these, so I'm a little bit biased, but I'm putting these in A tier, but not like a high A tier. I'll put these like right below smoke outs. The thing about these gloves that I really like is that on the index finger you got that little yellow pattern, you know. But I don't really know how to combo that with anything, you know. It's just there, and it just kind of stands out. But I just do appreciate the little detail there. They don't have that pattern or anything like that on the smokeouts, but they do have it on the eclipses. And I used a Talon Damascus steel. You can see on my profile if you want, I guess. But it just works really nicely with the sniper agent on the CT with the gray gloves. It just works very well. I really do like these gloves. And the booms are better than eclipses, but not as good as smokeouts. And I'll tell you why, because these gloves they don't flow as well as smokeouts. Smokeouts are just very color blocky and they're just clean in general. These are just all over the place with the, you know, comic book print and the red and stuff. I guess you can pair like a crimson web, maybe like another default knife, I don't know, with the red stripe going on. You can do pretty much what you did with the eclipses with what you can do with boom. It just doesn't really, the stripe and the accents don't really fit that well, but because they're dark gloves and they're kind of gray blackish gloves, brown, whatever, like you can match them with any like default knife, I guess. Alright, Crimson Kimonos, unlike the Crimson Webs, are incredibly black, incredibly vibrant, so they're going to the top of the top. Let's say they're better than let's say I'll put them like that. And if you get a good pattern, like an all red first max or whatever pattern, like several thousand, tens of thousands of dollars, sure, like they're the best glove in the world, but the average pair is not going to be like that, man. And I'm just being realistic here. Alright, so Emerald Webs, these are better than the Crimson Webs, in my opinion. And they're definitely S tier, because what other green gloves are you going to use to match with your Emerald besides Hedge Mages? Hedge Mazes. Jesus. I'll put this above the Omegas and Tiger Strikes. But I don't like the Tiger Strikes because of the thickness of it. But that's pretty much it. Alright, foundations. I used to not be a very big fan of these in CSGO because of the little squiggly text on the top of the hands, but in CSGO they did a little bit better. And also, I don't know if you noticed so far in the inspec, but the Tortu plates on the specialist gloves, they got a lot more shinier. So because of that, the foundation gloves, for me, they get a little bit boost, and also they just got improved. The only thing I don't like about these gloves is that when you're holding the gloves themselves, the only thing that they look apart different from the default gloves is like default black gloves is that they have a little orange white band, really. And if you're wearing sleeves, you can't even see that. So yeah, they're A tier. They're not bad by any means, but they're not like my favorite. So like right here, so like right there, just because it's kind of boring when you're not like holding your knife, you know. Or Force DD Pack gloves, better than the Buckshots because they're more green instead of brown, but that's not really saying much. Superconductors, S tier. My opinion, they're better than the Amphibious, because if you're using an Amphibious, you're really going for a Sapphire or a Blue Gem. But blue gems are, in my opinion, more attractive. But if you're going for a blue gem, you're going for a superconductors. That's the reason why it's more high tier, more attractive looking if you get the right. And also, if you get superconductors with the Vulcan, juice, money juice. That's all I can say. Hedge mazes, what can I say? S tier, or sorry, top best of the best. They're better than the Serpents. Alright. if you're going for a high tier green combo, you're getting hedge mazes and a freaking emerald, like a friggin' M9 emerald or whatever. Ball out. All right, we're going to our last 2 gloves, guys. It's been a long fucking video. How long has it been? I have no idea. Like, oh my god, it's been an hour. Holy shit. Okay, try to wrap it up quick. Arid gloves. Not bad by any means. I would say they are... I'm not a real big fan of these, but I know that people are, and they do kind of look like the yellow versions of the Slingshots. So I would put them in a... I guess... They're just kind of... The colors aren't really popping, you know? But I guess they're pretty cool. Put them like right here. And finally, Pandora's box. Alright, you're going straight to the top. There's no question about it. No, not F tier. Okay. Like right here. And the only reason why I'm putting them below Vices, besides the fact that I own a pair of Vices, is that they're not as vivid. They don't stand out as much as the Vice gloves. And now that the Vice gloves may wear pink instead of gray, who knows? Maybe they'll be better than Pandora's. All right, well, that was an amazingly long video, and I didn't realize I was talking for that goddamn long. But I guess that's it for now. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, but please tell me how to improve for future videos. Until next time, Scuttle out. Peace.